Hi there, welcome to Casper Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. So Casper this week has fallen below the uptrend support line that we talked about in previous sessions that has been set since November last year. So almost exactly a year that the current price is below that trend line. So let's dive into both the weekly and daily charts and see what kind of actions Casper or what kind of path Casper is taking. Here, that's what we're talking about. The current week, the candlestick that we're having is basically falling outside of this upward trend line that was set by the selling climax back in November 2024 and the test back in April this year. So just half a year ago. When this happens, that means it's breaking below, following this mini trend. So this trend channel box that we have drawn, the price is still following this trend. We hope that it break to the upside, but it seems like currently it's taking a dip before that happens. So when I switch on the Bollinger Band counter squeeze, we see there's a squeeze going on. It actually hasn't stopped. I wouldn't consider this area without the patch is a breaking of the squeeze. Basically, for me, it's still going on. This force is still being built up. So if this eventually breaks the squeeze, then the swing will be massive. For Casper, now that it's at this price level, if this squeeze, this long squeeze since May, the force is being released, that swing should not be something smaller than what we had back in December 2023, January 2024. So those swings those level or those magnitude of swings will happen when this force finally got released, because this period was just so long. And coming back to here, we talk about the time points and that we are really around this cross somewhere near October 20th. That's the date we talked about, and this breakout is seemingly trying to take off now. There's still about 3 days left. There's still a chance for the bulls to push the price back into this wedge, but we already talked about, even though the price is going to break outside of this mini downward channel, which is expected because it's not going to last too long, hopefully, this wedge over here, if the price really comes back, again, by the end of this month, a breakout event has to happen. Either it comes back down to challenge the white key level and gives us a spring, or it's going to shoot back up to the distribution cycle, or at least showing us a sign of strength somewhere above the orange key level. So let me show you something over here. So that's the thing I was referring to. So after selling climax second test or these tests, there's still a chance for the price to come back down after the sign of strength. So that's where we are now, compared to what happened back in October 22nd. And as of this moment, we're just waiting for the period that it shoots up to retest this yellow key level of 2 cents 40, and eventually, wishful thinking for now, that Casper shoots higher up and show us the buying climax at a similar level to what we had back in January 2024. That's 5 cents 60. Best if it hits the 6 cents 20 level that was when we had it back in April 2023. So clear all these target levels, because if it really reaches the purple key level, that means after almost 2 years, the price or the support for Casper is still there. at least people are still willing to speculate in Casper. But I'll also mention about this downward trend line of these peaks. So this peak over here in 2023, this peak over here in 2024, they formed this downward trend line. So if this current buying climax is going to just hit somewhere above the green key level of 3 cents, that's an alarming sign if you want to stay long with Casper, because it seems the attention of people has been drawn to other assets, may it be other altcoins or other just simply other traditional assets, and they are not putting the money back in here, pushing the price towards the previous peaks. So that's the big picture. If we go to the daily, once again checking the Bollinger Band corner squeeze, as of this moment, it is also within a squeeze. So you see this prolonged period of squeeze. We haven't got a swing like that since August. So it's a declining trend, but trading at a pretty narrow range. We're waiting for such a swing to happen. And then let's switch this off and get back to the Wyckoff in the daily. We already talked about the spring has been formed because the price is basically lower than the selling climax in the daily time frame back in early June, and the spring hasn't done yet. It's still coming down. We already talked about the last spring was near the orange key level. That's not key level, sorry. This is a level that we referenced from the last spring. That's around less than 1 cent, like it's 0.008. So there's a chance for the current spring to come to this level. So you see this downward trend box, right? It's only that particular day on August 26th that we've got an outlier spike that gone above this box, but then eventually this downtrend is still continuing. I'm just checking to see whether we've got all these bracketed correctly. So once it's getting down to this level, if I extend this support line, when the price finds support, it's fine if it spikes downwards, much like what happened over here back in April. So just half a year ago. Let me move across. The wicks are there. They touch this support line and then bounces out. And the closing price and the opening price were both above this orange. So that's the important thing. So it's fine for the current drop if it really spikes through the orange and then bounces back up. It's just basically showing a similar behavior back in April, and eventually it would show similar pattern and challenge the red key level. So that's, let's hope that's the case, that it goes back to challenge the 1 cent level. This has definitely happened. So previously I put in this, instead of a test, it's a definite spring, just that it can go even lower. So this is a subsequent stage that we hope we see. But now we're too far from that level. So might as well copy these back to here. So at least we hope to see a sign of strength happening in the near future. So you see what happened over here, right? After the spring, we've got this spike, and even though it's lower than the automatic rally, it's still a good enough indication that the price is getting back on track towards the upside. Right now we're still early, so we're hoping to see the same thing happening in the near future. So that took about a week to reach that level, and we're still going downwards at the moment. So if it takes a few more days, that means it may take another 10 days to 2 weeks before we see this kind of actions happening. It may not be as high as this green dashed line. It can be somewhere around here, like what we had like I said, August 26th. So let's hope that's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, and then we eventually see some light coming through the tunnel that the price is going to track towards the buying climax. And let's see whether I haven't missed anything. Yeah, we're just waiting for the squeeze force to release, and I believe I mentioned in previous sessions about apocalyptic scenario, like the end of Casper scenario. While we're hoping it shoots to the upside when the squeeze eventually finishes and the accumulation cycle finishes, there's still a chance that the swing is going to swing towards a lower level, and that's not something we want to see. That means Casper is going to enter a very prolonged period of accumulation, maybe all the way till end of the year, if that really happens. So let's hope it doesn't happen that way and the price gets back to this uptrend. That's all for Casper for now. Thanks for joining me. Remember to set your stop loss, even though we are hoping to see a sign of strength, at least, if not towards a new peak, all the way towards the purple key level of 5 cents 60. Good luck and see you tomorrow.